Roll the docket, pull the files. We've been watching cases pile up, courtrooms buzzing coast to coast. Trial junkies got the updates you need most. Opening statements, juries picked. Defense attorney making his pitch. Prosecution's ready, evidence tight. Somebody's about to face the light. We got the rundown, we got the tea. Every trial that matters living free. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee cup. Court is in session and we're pulling it up. What's coming up in court today? Who's getting sentenced? Who's getting arraigned? We got the cases, we got the dates. Trial junkies never make you wait. Verdicts dropping, sentences read. Justice moving full speed ahead. Stay in the chat, we'll break it down. Trial junkies holding it down. Sentencing hearing, victim speaks. Been waiting for this moment weeks. Judge leaning forward, gavel ready. Defense team nervous, prosecution steady. Cold case cracked, arrest was made. 20 years in justice didn't fade. Appeals denied, conviction stands. Finally justice in the victim's hands. We got the rundown, we got the tea. Every trial that matters living free. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee cup. Court is in session and we're pulling it up. Hey! What's coming up in court today? Who's getting sentenced? Who's getting arraigned? We got the cases, we got the dates. Trial junkies never make you wait. Verdicts dropping, sentences read. Justice moving full speed ahead. Stay in the chat, we'll break it down. Trial junkies holding it down. Hold up, did you see what just dropped? Mistrial declared and nobody stopped. New trial order, case blown wide open. Conviction overturned, the system's broken. Appeals court ruling nobody saw. Unbelievable moments inside the law. Every time you think this case is done, something happens and it's back to one. We got the rundown, we got the tea. Every trial that matters living free. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee cup. Court is in session and we're pulling it up. What's coming up in court today? Who's getting sentenced? Who's getting arraigned? We got the cases, we got the dates. Trial junkies never make you wait. Verdicts dropping, sentences read. Justice moving full speed ahead. Stay in the chat, we'll break it down. Trial junkies holding it down. Thursday night we stand for MMIP. Sunday night the cold case is running deep. Doc's got the control center, Z's got the mic. Moves just back there living her best life. Every victim matters, every name we say. Missing, murdered, stolen, betrayed. Bookmark it, share it, tell a friend. We are the voices that will never end. What's coming up in court today? Who's getting sentenced? Who's getting arraigned? We got the cases, we got the dates. Trial junkies never make you wait. Verdicts dropping, sentences read. Justice moving full speed ahead. Stay in the chat, we'll break it down. Trial junkies holding it down. Court adjourned, but we'll be back. Thursday, Sunday, stay on track. Subscribe, hit the bell, don't miss a thing. See you in the chat, let justice ring.
Live on the air, Trial Junkies United presents Justice After Dark with your host, Z.
Thank you, Doc. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? We have the beautiful Irish Luna Fairy and Katrina, our lovely mods. We have Southern Gal True Crime. Let me get that right.
Oops.
And any lurkers that are with us, we welcome you. Tonight, we want you guys to participate because this is going to be, some trial talk, catching up on some things that have happened, and also some upcoming things because there is a lot going to be happening before we know it. So, welcome, and our greetings go to our trial junkies, our truth seekers, and our justice warriors. I'm Z, your storyteller in the wilderness of injustice, with my ride or die doc riding shotgun as we navigate the darkness where the predators hunt and the system fails. We're ready to track every courtroom, from the ones that just closed to the ones that open in June, because justice is always in session on Justice After Dark. So buckle up, the path ahead grows bumpy as we lead you through another section of the nightmare they call the justice system. Doc, are you ready?
Oh, I think so.
And Irie said Fala's on her way. Her spaceship Uber is running late.
Oh.
I hope she doesn't
I
tip.
gotta check on this. I gotta check on this here.
Well, she better not tip him. Come on.
There
But tonight
it's going.
we're just kind of doing a full court roundup, you guys. I mean, literally, we've got verdicts, we've got sentencings, we've got convictions that just got thrown out. Trials happening right now, this week as we speak, and a lineup of cases coming in June that you might want to know about so that you know if you can watch or not. Some you can, some you can't, but we still want to know. And the courtrooms are just busy and full, but let's get started, trial junkies, and see what we got here. First, I'm actually going to go back in April because we did the case on Dee Warner when she was deleted by her husband, Dale. And there in Lenawee County, Michigan, he finally got sentenced because of deleting his wife. And if y'all remember, he strangled her, blunt force trauma. Then he put in a sealed fertilizer tank on their property, and she was in there for 3 years. And he just kept acting like she walked off.
Goodness, he strangled it. Okay, that is anger there.
Yes, exactly. She was last seen on April 25th of 2021, and Dale tried to claim she must have walked off, but the day before she disappeared, they had argued along with a worker or two about the finances on the business. So Dale was arrested in November of 2023. Her remains weren't discovered until August of 2024, and he was convicted of second-degree murder and tampering with evidence. And on May 7th, Dale Warner was sentenced to up to 70 years in prison.
70 years.
Yay.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a very smart, intelligent woman. I mean, and the businesses, she was really good at, had a good business head on her shoulders.
70 years in prison. Why don't they just say life?
I know.
At that point, I mean, look,
Yeah.
I don't know how old he was, but 70 years, he ain't getting out.
Yeah. And his stepson, TJ, said it's best at the sentencing. He says, I want you to hear this. Dale does not hurt people out of anger. He hurts them out for control. He said, when my mother wanted her independence, Dale made the choice to delete her and then put her in a sealed steel tank for 3 years. And she did deserve so much better. Katrina said, it's a formality, Doc.
Okay, yeah.
It's the same thing as saying life. They're just trying to be kind, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
there's a possibility you'll get out if you last that long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sadly, we have to talk about Kouri Richins. Nobody wants to talk about this chick from Park City, Utah. But on May 13th, which was actually her husband's birthday, and I love that the defense wanted to move her sentencing because they didn't want it on her husband's birthday, the one that she deleted. Too bad. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. for deleting Eric. He died in March of 2022 after drinking a cocktail that had been laced with fentanyl, roughly 5 times the legal dose. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it a Moscow Mule? The drink? A cocktail? You know, any guys out there, don't drink if your wife or partner offers you one. I'm just saying, you know, you might want to. But the prosecutors argued that she deleted Eric because he was worth more to her dead than alive, which, yeah, she was a thief too. She wanted his life insurance money. She was already involved with another man. And when the first attempt failed, because on Valentine's Day of 2022, remember, he said that he wasn't feeling good. And that was weeks before his death. But that didn't stop her. I agree with a lemon drop chaser. Oh.
Yeah.
The prosecutor, Brad Brudsworth, told the jury over the next 17 days, she did not think, what have I done? Rather, she thought, how can I do it better? Yeah. Katrina, that other man was such a sap for her too. It was ridiculous. Fowler has landed. Her Uber flew in. Doc, do we hear her Uber?
Yes, we do.
After Eric died, she wrote a children's grief book titled Are You With Me? And promoted it on local TV and radio, claiming she wrote it to help her sons cope with their loss. That makes me ill. She was arrested shortly after the book came out, and now her sons are 9, 12, and 13, and they had their statements read. A ghostwriter wrote it. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, because she wouldn't know anything about grief. She'd have to feel bad. And let's see, those statements were read out loud, and the boys chose exactly how their words would be delivered. The middle child, who is 12, he said, "You took away my dad for no reason other than greed, and you only cared about yourself and your stupid boyfriends." Plural, guys, boyfriends.
Oh my goodness.
The youngest one, who I said I think is 9, was in preschool when his dad died. And he wrote, "She took away my dad. It made me have a hard time trusting people." The oldest wrote, "I miss my dad, but I do not miss how my life used to be. I don't miss Kouri. I will tell you that." All 3 boys said they feel happier and safer with her behind bars. And while Eric's family and her own son spoke, Kouri sat at the defense table rolling her eyes. But the moment her own siblings stood up to defend her, she dissolved into tears. Katrina, you might have a point. But then again, these kids could have used Chat GPT. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They could have put their feelings in, and that's what came out. I wouldn't doubt it. Kids use it nowadays. I think it sounds more like something that they wrote up, using AI. Because some of the words are a little more mature. And it says she, of course, she maintained her innocence. She told her son that the conviction was completely wrong. But those kids told on her, man. And the judge saw it. He told her that her actions were the absolute tragedy that had befallen Eric Richins' sons and family, and a person convicted of those things is simply too dangerous to ever be free. Those boys said everything that needed to be said. The sentencing fell on what would have been his 44th birthday. And one of the interesting things I found, I was watching somebody else's YouTube channel. She has life insurance on those boys. They need to get that taken care of. They need to get her off of that, or any of her family. I don't know. Katrina, can that be done? You know a little bit more about life insurance and that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, I think they're old enough to know. And they talked about her being mean to their pets. Talked about their mom locking them up. so she could spend time with her boyfriends. Um, yeah, I mean, parents do have life insurance, but I mean, this is a woman that was deleting her husband to get his life insurance. That's what I mean. Hey, Ken, thank you for coming, darling. We're so happy you're with us.
What happened with the kids?
Well, the kids are with Eric's sister.
Okay.
And she's caused all sorts of trouble. Like, I think the main detective, she had her family put him on a gay dating site. Like, that's the worst prank you could pull on him. I mean, not that I don't think he was gay, but it was like she was just trying to cause him trouble. She made claims against the sister that took these boys in. She's had, I think, her family call child services. Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand of allowing her to keep that life insurance policy when she was trying to delete her husband to get life insurance, because I don't know those boys are still safe from the family. I mean, hey, Racy, he had a hot voice.
Just, yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, this case was the things that her family pulled, though, just trying to cause conflict constantly. Yeah, the judge, it was a good judge. He was not wowed by her. Let's put it like that. He didn't get, she thought she was all great. And I love somebody asked, how did her hair look blown out and so good for sentencing that day?
Hmm.
Like, who's letting her do that? I don't know. Okay, once her parental rights are removed, the insurance won't be an issue. Okay. Yeah. That would scare me because I wouldn't trust her family because they're all a little wacko. Oh, we got to talk about him. Ugh. Alex Murdaugh. Ugh. And we have questions. On May 13th, the South Carolina Supreme Court voted 5-0 to overturn his conviction. Oh, man. And the life sentence ordering a new trial in the killing of his wife, Maggie, and son, Paul. And the reason? Oh, yeah. I hear you, Katrina. I am too. It's all because of a county clerk of court, Rebecca Becky Hill. And she had placed her fingers, as the court put it, on the scales of justice. And here's what Becky actually did. While the trial was happening, Hill was writing a book about it. She was writing a book behind the doors of justice called The Murdaugh Murders, and she wanted a quick guilty verdict to boost her sales. Me neither, Southern gal. I can't stand to look at him either. So she told the jurors not to be fooled by the defense. She instructed them to watch his body language for signs of lying. She manipulated the court to get a defense-leaning juror removed. One juror later confirmed in an affidavit that her statements influenced her verdict because, in her words, it felt like she made it seem like he was already guilty. And that's not all. She illegally paid herself bonuses from her office's general funds and siphoned nearly $10,000 from federal funds intended for children and families. I mean, come on. That is just ridiculous. Yeah, Ken, you're right. She did everything she could. She shared sealed evidence photos with members of the media. She lied about it under oath to a judge. And the South Carolina Supreme Court called her conduct a breathtaking and disgraceful effort to undermine the jury process. I don't know why they were so poetic. I wouldn't have been. I hope not. Her sentence, for all that she caused, she got 3 years of probation, 100 hours of community service, $11,880 in restitution she has to pay, and she didn't spend a single day in prison. And I have questions about that. Yeah. I can see your thought on that, Falla, because they are going to go for the DP this time. Southern Gal, you're right. I totally think she should be in jail for this.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But how? Wait a minute. How do they? How it come to the conclusion that they can't use anything that they used in the first trial? The prosecution can't. They can't use. Evidence is evidence, right? I mean,
well, it depends on what evidence that they have that she contaminated, if she was able to contaminate in it. The evidence they do have is that the recording of him down there at the kennels. I mean, the victims need justice, and that's Maggie and Paul.
mm-hmm.
And Becky Hill, she really messed this up. And this is the most high-profile double deletion convictions in American history to ever be thrown out. The South Carolina AG said he hopes to retry Murdaugh by the end of 2026. He is still in custody on the 40-year federal sentence for financial crimes, and that conviction stands. He can't get out of that one. A Southern Gal, I agree. The video to me was that voice video was the most damning evidence. But the murder convictions for Maggie and Paul are gone, and they deserve justice. And whatever happens, it needs to be clean. I mean, come on. Well, you can try a case on circumstantial, Racy. And I mean, they have a good circumstantial case, I think. I think they'll be able to get a conviction. You know, I bet the judge is going to be checking out his next county clerk. Yeah, I agree, Katrina.
What?
They're wasting taxpayer money.
Oh, of course they are.
You know, that's the terrible part of it.
But Falla makes a good point that she didn't contaminate so much evidence as she contaminated the jury, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's what she did. And that was by, things she said.
Right.
It was really how she did that. So, well, I don't, we'll have to see. Racy, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But next, let's jump over to California. This is photos of victims Kavina and Kavana, their twin sisters, and Kenneth, who was, I think, Kavana's wife. On May 13th, a jury in California recommended the death penalty for Eric Otto White, who on August 16th, 2020, and he was the boyfriend of Kavina, and that's Eric White, because on August 16th of 2020, he walked into the home he shared with his girlfriend and shot and killed 3 people in under 5 minutes. And the victims were Kavina Madison Brooks, 39, his girlfriend, Kavana Kimberly Brooks Lee, who was 39 because they're twins, and her husband, Kenneth Lee, 54. And then their 14-year-old daughter, Zenora, who was also shot, but she survived. And actually, one of the women had survived, but eventually died in the hospital. And the prosecution said the motive was just control because Kavina had touched his karaoke. That sounds funny. Okay. The speaker, and he got upset. And so then she told him if he didn't like it, he could leave because she could find her a new guy. And this was days before he came back with a weapon. And so when all over a karaoke speaker, and also the control, it was control. 3 people are deceased. A child that was 14 got shot. And it's kind of confusing because California actually does not carry out death sentences. And so that's a fair question, and it's complicated. Why would they give him the death penalty? It's still on California books. Juries can still recommend it, but no one has been executed since 2006. First, due to a federal court order, then Governor Newsom in 2019 got rid of it, and the execution chamber at San Quentin has been closed. The state has roughly 580 people sitting on death row right now in what critics call legal purgatory. So, what does this jury recommendation actually mean for White? It means he joins those 580 people and will almost certainly serve life without parole unless something happens politically and California shifts. It really is the ultimate legal paradox here, you guys. You're sentenced to die in a state that doesn't execute anyone. Zenora, she survived and she deserves justice, and that actually means something. And that poor little girl, can you imagine? In just minutes, he came in there and changed her life. But let's jump up to South Dakota real quick. This one's crazy. I don't know if anybody heard about this. It happened up in Centerville, South Dakota. And this is Jay Ostrem.
He looks like somebody's crazy old uncle or something.
Yeah.
Just saying,
I agree. And on May 14th, he was the former Centerville mayor in South Dakota and former law enforcement officer. J. Edward Ostrem, 65, was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole for deleting 3 people on Memorial Day of May 27th, 2024. And this is a photo of Paul Frankus, Zachary Frankus, and Timothy Richmond. These were the victims. Paul was 26, Zachary was 21, and Timothy was 35. Now, what would cause the mayor and ex-deputy to do this? Supposedly, and I'm saying supposedly because we don't know, his wife told him that on May 23rd, a neighbor, Paul Frankus, now I couldn't find out how old his wife is. He's up in his 60s. But her neighbor, Paul, who's I think the young guy with the glasses next to his brother in the picture, he was 26 at the time, forcibly kissed her and exposed himself. Maybe some touching, according to a probable cause affidavit that a special agent with South Dakota Division of Criminal Investigation wrote. And this was after what happened. But they were drinking and this happened. And she waited, I think, a day or so and then told her husband, who was supposedly asleep in the house at the time. And the reason I'm saying, accusation allegedly is because this young man was murdered. So we don't know. You only have her word. She was drunk. What happened? I don't know. Hey, sleuthy sweetheart.
So wait a minute. She made the claim.
She made the claim to her husband.
Okay. And he voiced it.
Yeah.
And he voiced it and then he took action.
Yes.
Okay.
He is 65 now. That was 2 years ago. So he would have been 63 at the time. I don't know if his wife is close to his age, but this was on May 27th. And she told him on that on the 23rd of the month that this happened when Paul supposedly was at the house and they were drinking. I'm number one. Why are you drinking with a 26-year-old kid?
Yeah,
when your husband's sleeping in the house, and dude, why are you allowing it? I have questions.
Yeah, that just sounds. If they were actually in the house together, in drinking, somebody had to be blitzed in order for that to happen.
Yeah. And then the accusation he left the house in a rage, because And it was 4 days since the event supposedly happened when then he went and deleted these young men. But she told him the day that he went and shot them. Was she trying to get him jealous? I don't know. I mean, we have to put it out there. It's alleged because there's no way to confirm. So after hearing what happened, this guy got up, walked out of his house. Now, he was former law enforcement. Did he call law enforcement? Nope. He grabbed weapons, crossed the street, and just started shooting. Zachary, who was 21, Paul's brother, called 911 at 9:44 that night, frantic, reporting that his brother had just been shot and killed. During the call, Zachary said he too had been shot, and then he stopped speaking. There was a supposed assault on his wife, and if it did happen, that's horrible. But we also have to say allegedly, because nobody reported a crime. And he didn't seek justice. He just grabbed an AR-style rifle and a pistol and executed 3 people. And the one gentleman was a friend that was at the house. So Zachary was 21, Paul was 26, and I can't remember how old the other young man was, but he wasn't that old. And he just went over there and, Richmond, Timothy Richmond was 35, and he was the father of a baby. Hey, Farquaad, glad you're here, sweetheart. Yeah, Southern Gal, I agree. I'm skeptical about this whole story. But allegedly, that's what happened. But that didn't justify what he did. They should have taken him to court. If this is what happened, then you go to court. Did she come on to him? We don't know. We'll never know what happened. But he ended up with 3 life sentences. So there you go. Now, this next case, I know Racy just was doing this one, was the Josie Dikeman in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. This is her stepson, Alex or AJ Pedron. And on May 15th, the jury found her guilty on all counts in the death of 6-year-old AJ, who died February of 2023. And that it was, Sleuthy, I know you were going to work on that one too. It was sad. Yeah, I can't pronounce that, Racy. Alexavier? Is that how you say it? Alexavier?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that was it. Okay, thanks, Racy. But yeah, that poor little guy. There are questions about this trial, though. Racy and I have talked about it because she was covering it. And not that I think his mother, stepmom, or were they married, Racy? Was she married to the father, or were they just living together? I can't remember. But neither one of them should be parents. Let's just be honest. They're both terrible parents. Yeah, it was domestic violence. Yeah, because he did beat her up all the time. Yeah. The jury found her guilty of first-degree reckless homicide, chronic neglect of a child resulting in death, and physical abuse of a child with repeated acts causing physical harm, and maximum combined exposure, life in prison. She's supposed to be sentenced in 60 days, and he was found unresponsive on February 11th of 2023. Yeah. I agree with Racy and Sleuthy. They did kind of forget about AJ. It was all about the domestic violence between Derek and Josie, which, I mean, it played a part, but wasn't the whole story. Yeah, I don't think they were married either. And the medical examiner determined his cause of death was blunt force trauma with Xanax found in his system as a contributing factor. Now, she didn't have Xanax. Derek, his dad, had Xanax. And he wasn't supposed to be at the house, but he was at the house. And the cops were after him and got him arrested. And he made a plea deal. And that's what I'm really upset over. Yeah, I think they I think that prosecutor was just a bulldog. He went for Josie. He made a deal with the devil because they let the father have a plea deal, and I think he's just as culpable in this. Yeah, he was gross. And how many kids does he have, Racy? I forget. Was it like 9 kids? It was ridiculous. This guy's just going out
Well,
producing
we're
kids like a
talking
crazy
a
man.
hound dog here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I do have a brother-in-law that they called him Bucky for Buck Rabbit. And he did have a lot of kids. But at least Bucky was a nice guy. He just liked women.
And lots of them.
Oh, yeah. Sleuthy's still doing the Shanda trial. And Noel Rodriguez said, okay. Hey, I understand, darling. You got to finish your work. And he had multiple bruises, the poor little guy. There was brain swelling, torn liver. I mean, the little guy was a mess. And his 8-year-old brother did say that Josie was cruel to him and mean to him, and he would get hit and kicked. And so I think they really went with, Racy, I think they went with what the kids were saying. Josie's the one that called and reported finding him unresponsive and claimed he had taken medication from her bag, but then she claimed she didn't have any Xanax. So see, that's contradictory. It's like you're saying, well, he took medication from my bag, but you're saying you had no Xanax. Okay. And they found 10 of 12 prescribed prednisone pills still in her bag. So the scene had been staged. Her battery showed she had searched battered child syndrome the same day that AJ had been hospitalized for a fractured femur months earlier. 3 security cameras in the home, but when the investigators returned for the footage, the SD cards were gone. Why did you have to return? Every case should be investigated as a deletion, and then you come back if that way you don't have to come back and mess with your evidence. Just treat it like somebody did something wrong. Come on. You guys all know this. We all know it. But when you try and pass it off as something else and don't collect the evidence, I mean, just like Jana's, and what happened with her niece, they didn't collect the evidence. You can't go back and make up the evidence.
Well, I think you're running with a false presumption here.
Okay, what's that, Doc?
We all know, but
yeah,
obviously law enforcement doesn't know sometimes what their job is and how to do it.
Yeah, sometimes there are good cops, and we love when we get a good cop.
Yep.
And anybody has a good cop story, hey, we'll do a good cop story show. I don't have a problem with that. I get tired telling bad cop stories. And Josie also had a prior felony for child neglect in 2013 involving injuries to another child. So she's guilty on every count. The poor little guy, he deserved better. And now, just to ruin everybody's night. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's Josie. She's the one that, yeah. I forgot to show her picture. We don't like her. Yeah, I agree, Racy. 2011 to 2023. Yeah, it happened a long time ago, but they were able to put it in, and I think the jury heard that. And so they think if she did it once, she did it again. We got, Sleuthy, bingo. We got to talk about crazy Letecia. Because I just can't believe that in April we got that they're going to go ahead and let her have a new trial. And that's infuriating. In 2020, we know that she used a long knife and shot her 11-year-old stepson in his bedroom in Colorado Springs and then reported him missing. And over 200 volunteers were searching for him. Eventually, he was found in a suitcase in Florida. He was deleted in Colorado Springs, Colorado. They found him in Florida. And of course, they were able to follow her trip. Sleuthy, exactly. Why can't we get things right the first time? I don't know. And of course, here's crazy Letecia. Does she kind of remind you of Taylor Schabusiness, anybody? These pictures are giving me Taylor Schabusiness vibes. Or is that just me? I don't know. Man, put them in a cell together. That would be fun. Even though they're in different states. Can we ship her over? She was convicted in 2023 on all counts. Yep. And sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But the jury rejected her insanity defense entirely because that's what, she said she was crazy. April 2nd, we got the Colorado Court of Appeals overturning the conviction. And I'm sorry, the reason just ticks me off. Okay. Shabunkers. There was a juror on the jury whose son-in-law worked in the DA's office that prosecuted the case and was never dismissed. So a retrial was ordered. The judge knew about it. The attorneys knew about it. The judge questioned the person. The person said that they could be, they didn't have their mind made up. They could, listen to the evidence and come to a conclusion. But the appeals court said no. So she's still in custody, thank goodness. And the DA considers appealing to the Colorado Supreme Court. This little guy was 11, and it's been over 6 years. And she finally has yet to have a finalized conviction. Sleuthy, yeah, I know. I love that. Shabusiness. She's crazy. His killer has yet to finalize her conviction, and the system failed that child, and it just keeps happening. This is the second big case that's been overturned. We got it. That judge, he should have known better. I'm sorry. I got to say it, because anything that could come back on them. And why the prosecutor, when this came up, didn't just say, okay, fine, let's get a different juror. We're not going to risk it. I mean, you can't be doing this, people. You got to do something. Okay. But now those were several trials that we just kind of went over that are going on. But there is one right now that's underway, and that's Larry Millete, I think, in Chula Vista, California. It started a few days ago. This is his wife, Maya Millete. Now, I don't know if it is on TV. I haven't seen it, but Larry Millete, 44, is on trial for the murder of his wife, Maya. She's the mother of 3 who has not been seen or heard from since January 7th of 2021. Chula Vista, she disappeared from her Chula Vista home. And Chula Vista is a place I love because one of my favorite aunts in the world, her and her husband, my uncle lived there, and we used to visit. I love Chula Vista. But her body's never been found. And Larry, the prosecutors allege that when she tried to leave the marriage, he took desperate measures, including paying spellcasters to compel her to stay. And in other instances, requesting spells to have her injured, made sick, or plagued with nightmares. He stopped requesting spells entirely after she vanished. Wow. Racy. Yeah, you're right. But boy, that's just, yeah. Isn't it amazing how he didn't have to pay for any more spells? And he never did pay for a spell to find out where she was. Yeah. He did not participate in any searches for her. Family members testified that he had previously planted a cell phone in Maya's car to track her. Is that not insane, guys? There was surveillance footage, shows no evidence that she left the family home after the afternoon of January 7th. She had a birthday trip planned for her daughter that week and an appointment with a divorce attorney. Yeah. A bit sus. And she made neither the birthday trip nor the divorce attorney appointment. It's a nobody case, but that doesn't mean they might not get justice. And actually, opening statement, a few days ago, they finally finished picking the jury. The opening statements will begin on May 19th. When the Asians start doing it. The trial is expected to last 3 months. No cameras are allowed in the courtroom. So we'll just be getting updates through, court TV, I'm sure, will be telling us what's going on. Maya was the mother of 3 who just wanted out of a controlling marriage, and she never made it. So that's kind of a heartbreaking one, but it's going to be a big one. It's sad that they're not going to let us watch. I think that would be interesting. Now, this case takes place in Kentucky. This is Jordan Morgan. Opening statements began on May 12th in Shelby County, Kentucky. It's the trial of Shannon Gilday, who stands accused of the premeditated deletion of Jordan Morgan, 32. She was a practicing attorney who was shot 11 times in her bed while she slept. She was at her father's property at approximately 4 a.m. on February the 22nd of 2022. Gilday forced his way into Morgan's family's $6.5 million Madison County mansion. This is a home that's listed for sale that had been built with a doomsday bunker 26 feet underground. And he wanted a doomsday bunker. Is this not insane? This is why he did this. He made 8 reconnaissance trips, because he was former military, to the property beforehand using aerial photographs, which means he had to have drones maybe, topographical maps to study the layout. I mean, this dude, he was out there. She was asleep when he found her in her room, and she was shot 11 times. Sleuthy needs a bunker soon. Her last words, according to Gilday himself when he spoke to the police, were, "Please don't." Yeah, he did it for a bunker. He then went downstairs and shot his way into the master bedroom where her father, former state representative Wesley Morgan, and his wife and their young daughter were sleeping. Wesley exchanged gunfire with Gilday before the intruder fled. Now, of course, the defense, not guilty by reason of insanity. They say he became convinced the United States was on the brink of nuclear war and believed a sinister organization was sending him messages through his phone and his music. The prosecution's counter is devastating. They said a man who makes 8 reconnaissance trips, uses topography maps and aerial photos, and waits until the middle of the night when everyone is asleep, knew exactly what he was doing. And I agree. And this is Jordan's dad, Wesley, and her together. Her dad took the stand after 4 years of watching trial dates be delayed. And he said he would not accept any plea bargain. The family wants the death penalty, and it is on the table. With Jordan telling him, "Please don't. She deserves to be heard," bunker couldn't hurt. Katrina says, "Just don't use conditioner, Sleuthy." Okay, why are we not using conditioner? Sleuthy, you might just want to catch one of Fowler's Ubers. He just walked into the house. He broke in and he was searching through and found her room. It was insane. And this trial is ongoing right now. It's going to take a while. Now, this next one takes place in the lovely state of Virginia. And this one's a little crazy too. This is one of a kind. This began May 18th, will begin on May 18th and run through May 21st. And it's going to start this week. And this is actually Abby Zwerner. But this is Dr. Ebony Parker, the former principal of Rich Nick Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, faces 8 counts of felony child neglect for the alleged failure to act on multiple warnings on the same day that a student had a weapon. On January 6th of 2023, a six-year-old first grader pulled out a weapon that has bullets in the classroom and fired a shot that tore through teacher Abby Zwerner's hand and pierced her chest. Medical experts testified that the bullet will remain in Zwerner's body inches from her spine and vital organs until the day she dies. It is too dangerous to remove. Now, a civil jury has already found Parker grossly negligent and awarded Zwerner $10 million. But the criminal standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. Parker's liberty is now on the line because multiple staff members reportedly warned Parker that this child had a weapon before the shooting. She allegedly failed to search the child, failed to escalate to law enforcement, and failed to remove the child from the classroom. This is one of the first criminal prosecutions in the country targeting a school administrator for failing to prevent a school shooting. Yeah, Vala's going to leave Virginia. That's an interesting point, Farquhar. Yeah.
Well, according to that, I mean, to talk to that question is just everybody and their brother has a gun in this country because the laws are so lax.
But a 6-year-old.
Yeah, but still, if there was one in the house, it
says the question is the jury must answer is at what point does administrative inaction in the face of known danger become a criminal act? She had been warned. She had been told. She kept refusing to do anything. Maybe they do need to be held responsible. It's a crazy case. I think just like with that one young boy that did a school shooting and they eventually locked up his parents because they did not keep the gun from him when he had depression issues. This might be a huge case in precedent. I don't know. I don't know if Ken's still here. I'd love to know what his thoughts are on it because that's going to be that will make some precedents, I think. Yeah, the mom didn't have it locked up. Yeah. And I think she got something, but it wasn't much. I can't remember. I had that in my notes somewhere and I forgot. Yeah, responsible owner. Exactly, Racy. And I mean, that's what happened with that other family is they didn't keep it locked up. They should have. She was warned by too many people not to at least remove him, bring him to the office and call his parents. But she didn't want to get hurt. So I guess maybe. Okay. Now here's another case. This is an oldie, but it's coming up for a trial. Who remembers the Cameron Hooker case in California? That's the girl in the box case. Well, Fala, I agree with you on that the mother should get more time, but the mother, okay, let me put it this way. The mother might not known the child got a hold of the weapon, right? Okay. That's negligence and she should do something. This woman was pointedly told by several different people. Several different people came to her, told her the child had a weapon, and she didn't call the authorities. She didn't call the parents. She did nothing. Just left him in the room. So I'm sorry. I think she needs to be held responsible for what happened because she could have prevented it. Yes, the mother could have by keeping her weapon locked up. I'm not saying that, but I think she's just as responsible. I really do. But wait a minute.
You did say she's the former principal, former vice principal.
She was the principal of the school that the child was in at that time.
And she didn't, well, in action.
And
yeah.
after being
Yeah.
told by several different
Yep.
teachers that the child had a weapon, and she did nothing
Yep.
and left him in a room with that other teacher. And then when the kid pulled it out and shot his teacher, now they're making charges against her because she did. A teacher is a mandatory reporter.
Mm-hmm.
So she should have had to report. She should have either called the authorities immediately or at least contacted his parents. She did neither. She just left him in the classroom.
Did they ever say during the trial as to why she didn't say anything?
Well, the trial, the jury selections begins on the 18th of this month.
Okay, so it's upcoming. Okay.
The only part of the trial, there's two trials. They did a civil trial where the teacher that was shot won a huge settlement because she was shot twice. The bullet remains within her and will until she's deceased. But this is actually a criminal case now that they've taken against the principal, which is a precedent that they're setting. Well, Racy, I agree they are responsible, but when your child is at the school, teachers are responsible too, for conduct, especially if they are told.
But I do really believe that the mother is just as responsible as that.
Oh yeah, the mother should be held criminally responsible, but so should she.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, both of them.
Because she was told and she was too lazy to do her job. She could have picked up a phone and called the cops and said, I have a report of a 6-year-old with a weapon. She could have called his mother. Your son is said, and the mother could have, done something. I think they're both criminal. I do. I really do. Because it would be different if nobody had told her. If nobody had told her and she had no idea, because it's not like you're going to search every 6-year-old, but she had repeatedly been told by other teachers that the child had a weapon. It's her job to be in charge of that school. What if he would have deleted children in his classroom? See, that, I'm sorry, she needs to be held responsible. But I don't know if anybody remembers the Cameron Hooker case. This was a case that happened, oh man, we're talking 1977. Colleen Stan was kidnapped for 7 years. She was 20 at the time. She was hitchhiking in California. She accepted a ride from Cameron and his wife, Janice, and they kidnapped her, took them to their home in Red Bluff, California, and forced her to live as a sex slave. And they actually confined her in a wooden box under their bed. Hey, Mustang, good to see you. He was convicted and sentenced to more than 100 years in prison. But he is approaching the end of that sentence. I'm trying to figure out how.
Yeah, how?
How do you approach 100 years is 100 years. California has some strange laws about letting people out. I tell you, of all the states,
well, somebody needs to take them back to send them back to school.
Yeah, I agree. But California law requires now a civil process to keep him locked up. And the state cannot simply hold him indefinitely based on his conviction alone. Why? Why would you give him 100 years if you can't? So they have to take him to a civil case, which is going to start this week, and label him as sexually violent predator, or he gets to walk on supervised parole. And the state filed the SVP petition in 2020. 2 independent clinical evaluations support the designation that he is a violent sexual predator. His original release date was March of 2021, but the civil trial is what has kept him from walking out the door the past 5 years. So if that designation of sexual violent predator is granted, then he ends up in a psychiatric hospital for indefinite civil commitment with periodic reviews. If not, he can get released. Yeah. Um,
My goodness.
it's insane. And Colleen Stan has held, the case isn't just about physical captivity. And we didn't know what we know now about coercive control, because there were times they let her out, and it took a lot before she was able to get away from them. If you guys ever want me to cover the case, let me know. I remember reading about this case years ago. It's an interesting case, and it's going to be one that we'll keep an eye on. Fella, dumb and don't keep them up and away. Yeah. Now on May 19th, we have Paul Caneiro, and that's the gentleman that will get he'll get what coming to him in June. Paul was sentenced to, or his sentencing was scheduled for May 19th, which is tomorrow at 8:30 in New Jersey. But just days before Thanksgiving in 2018, Paul slaughtered his own brother's entire family at Colt Neck's New Jersey mansion. Keith, his brother, was 50, was shot 5 times. He was found on the lawn. His wife, Jennifer, 45, was shot, and also one of those pointy objects, They had their children, Jesse, 11, and Sophia, 8, were also the pointy object and left to die in flames as Paul set the mansion on fire. He drove home, set his own house on fire with his wife and daughter sleeping inside to cover his tracks. The motive was greed. He was about to be cut off from the family business after Keith caught him stealing the night before the murders. Keith had emailed him saying he would stop paying Paul's wife until the missing money was located. Paul also stood to collect $1.5 million in insurance money if his brother's entire family was deceased. Sophia, 8 years old, investigators found Paul's clothes in his own basement with his 8-year-old niece, Sophia's blood on them. He was convicted on all counts after just one day of jury deliberations. They didn't mess around. Okay, patriotism. Tuesday? Okay. A post-conviction motion for a new trial was denied. Paul faces 4 life terms. He shot his brother, used the pointy object on his sister-in-law. He stabbed an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, left them to die in their home. All that money, 7 years to get here, but hopefully they will get the sentence that he deserves. So let's hope that case gets taken care of. But June's going to be a month to watch. Brendan Banfield will be sentenced on June 5th. And I don't know how many of you followed his case where he deleted his wife and an innocent stranger named Joseph Ryan. Remember, this is the au pair case? Yeah, where he catfished that guy to come over and attack his wife, and then he came in and deleted everyone so he could run off with the au pair. Yeah. He'll be getting his sentencing on June 5th. Yay. Erin Stratman, she will be sentenced on June 5th also. She's the one that worked in the NICU unit at the doctor's hospital. She was a 27-year-old NICU nurse in Virginia who abused those 9 babies. Ugh. And with that one, she's not going to get enough time. I'm sorry. She was facing originally 20 charges, but the plea agreement accepted by the judge caps her sentence at a maximum of 3 years in prison. When are we going to stop giving plea deals to child abusers? She abused those babies. She's permanently banned from nursing and from any work with minors or vulnerable adults. Yeah, but that doesn't mean she's not going to be able to get to children. I don't like it. 3 years for 9 babies being hurt. She needs more time. Now, on June 1st, there is the trial of Carmelo Anthony. We'll be starting here in Texas, and that will be on, that happened April 2nd of 2025 when Austin Metcalf, 17, was deleted at Frisco track and field championship event in Frisco, Texas. He was pointy object in the chest by fellow student Carmelo Anthony, who was 17 at the time. Now, that altercation was when the teams were sheltering during a weather delay. Austin's twin brother Hunter told Anthony to move out from under their team's tent because Carmelo wasn't part of them. Austin confronted Anthony, and during the argument, Anthony said, "Touch me and see what happens." While reaching into his back pocket, Metcalf pushed him. Anthony pulled out a pointy object and, once in the chest. Austin ran down the bleachers, grabbing his chest. His twin brother Hunter caught him. He says, "I put my hand on there and tried to make it stop, and I grabbed his head and I looked him in the eyes." And he said, "I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too." I can't imagine twin brothers, That's horrid. And so Austin was pronounced deceased shortly after arriving at the hospital. And this case is really, there's been a lot of conflict over it. Families were doxxed and harassed. The Metcalf family's home was swatted. Both fathers were forced to leave their jobs. So the judge who reduced Anthony's bond was doxxed and received death threats also. Anthony's family had to relocate due to physical intimidation. Anthony was indicted for first-degree murder. He's being tried as an adult here in Texas, and he faces 5 to 99 years or life. And that will begin June 1st in Collin County. No cameras, no live stream. A strict media order on this one. And I can see with all the stuff that has happened, why that has happened. But we also have Jonathan Rinderneck, and that trial starts June 8th. Now, this is a fire. That's the fire in the Palisades that 12 people died and over 6,800 homes and businesses were reduced to ash. That was that horrendous fire last year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know if they will put that on air. That was a terrible thing. The Palisades was just destroyed. Now, Tracy Grist, she will be sentenced on June 10th. Now, she's the one that was sentencing in America Fork, Utah. She's convicted of the deletion and criminal conspiracy, obstruction of justice, and domestic violence in the presence of a child, orchestrating the killing of her own son-in-law, Matthew. And so Matthew, 42, traveled to Utah believing he was picking up his wife, Catherine, and his daughter and their 2 children to bring them back to his California home. But what was waiting for him was a staged home, lights turned off, and Grist's son, Kevin Ellis, used a weapon and shot Matthew 7 times when he walked through the door. The medical examiner found damage to the right and left lung, heart, diaphragm, liver, stomach, spleen, and kidney and ribs with 3 bullets passing through and 4 remaining in his body. He also used a pointy object, and they put it in Matthew's hand. The investigators determined it was in his non-dominant hand. It had been purchased online, allegedly by Chris herself. DNA testing on the knife found no DNA from anyone connected to the crime. Forensics experts concluded the semen had been staged. And there was also search history. So that's going to be a crazy case that is in Utah. They'll be coming up in June. And she is facing life in prison. So, and I have questions for that wife. She pleaded guilty. His wife pleaded guilty to murder and conspiracy and was sentenced 1 to 15 years. But her mother is facing life. And then we all know Rex Heuermann will be getting his sentencing coming up here in June also. So, yeah, I don't know why they're making a big deal out of that. Just go away forever. We know what you did. That'll be on June 17th. Aaron Spencer. Now, this one, it's an interesting case. This will start on June 22nd. One of the most complex, emotionally charged, and legally significant trials of the summer in Lonoke County, Arkansas. I'm sure Southern Gal knows about this one. Aaron Spencer was a combat veteran and father and a farmer, and he discovered in the middle of the night that his 13-year-old daughter was missing. He and his wife used a tracking app and found her in a vehicle with a man named Michael Fossler, 67. He was a convicted sex offender who had previously served as a police officer out of state and was already facing more than 40 child sex crime charges involving Spencer's own daughter. Yeah.
67 years old. What a, oh man.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I always say. Child predators, they don't get well. They just become old child predators. And
Yes.
that's why they need to be going away forever.
Definitely.
So let that sink in. 40 child sex crime charges. And those were against Aaron's daughter. More than 40 charges. So Fossler was out on bond. See, this is why you do not bond these people. There was another case in California where they bonded another guy for a child predator. And guess what? The day of his sentencing, he didn't show up. Yeah. So Spencer forced Fossler's truck off the road, got his daughter out, and then shot him during the confrontation that followed. Spencer is charged with second-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty and is invoking Arkansas' stand your ground law. This case sits at the intersection of every major tension in America justice system right now. Predator accountability, stand your ground, systematic failure, evidence integrity, and a potential critical SD card from Fossler's dash cam went missing under the county sheriff's office. And the question of whether a father protecting his child from an active predator constitutes murder. There's also this. While awaiting the trial for this murder, Spencer ran for the office of sheriff and he won the primary. His campaign was centered on the justice system's failure to protect his daughter. If acquitted, he advances to the November general election. A felony conviction permanently would disqualify him from serving. The jury that walks into that courtroom on June 22nd will be carrying all of this. So Southern Gal's going to try and stay on top of it. Farquhar's watching it. I'm watching it. This is going to be one to watch, guys. Yeah, it's crazy. Let's go over some of our missing people for tonight. Remember the faces. We know some leave voluntarily. Oh, good. Racy's going to cover it too. Yeah, Mustang, I kind of agree with you. He was protecting his child. I would love to know what happened to that SD card, though. That doesn't look good. Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to let him go. It's going to be a tough case.
I just wanted to say hi to Mustang. I can't do a thing right now because I have a kitty cat laying on my chest.
Is Sky laying on you?
No, Rogue is.
Rogue. Yeah, we have two gray cats, one named Rogue and one named Sky, and they're both in love with Doc. They could care less if I breathe in the room. In fact, it's an annoyance when I do. Rogue will only come hang out with me at night when we go to bed. Sometimes she'll come up and crawl next to me, but I'm not supposed to move. So, yeah, lovely children. That's why I have the moo. Southern Gal thinks he's going to be acquitted. I would have a hard time convicting him. I'm just going to say it. I really would. So remember, when missing people leave voluntarily, sometimes they're coerced out of the home. And that's not okay. And sometimes we walk right by these victims. And sometimes we know trafficking takes place. Trust your instincts. If you see a person pass something, it could be someone's missing family member. If you recognize anyone on today's cases, please contact authorities. If you're afraid to do that, contact us at email tips, 4, trialjunkiesunited@gmail.com. We'll get the information where it needs to go. Yeah, Southern Justice, Racy. Yeah, he needed killing as a valid defense in the South.
Yes.
My mother used to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start. First, we've got one this is an older case, Benita Long. She was 40 when she disappeared. She'd be 43 now. She disappeared on March 26 of 2022 from Toppenish, Washington. She's a two-spirit sister. She is from the Yakima Nation. brown hair, um, and brown eyes. She's 5'3". She weighs about 130. She was seen wearing gray sweats, a black hoodie, and a black backpack. She has tattoos that say "born" on her right knuckles and SINR, center, on her left knuckles. NLP, Nancy Larry Paul, on her right forearm. She has a scar on the chin and a big burn scar on the leg. A relative dropped her off at the El Corral Motel. She contacted her sister shortly after, stating she was in the Yakima area. This was her last known contact. Anyone with information, contact the Yakima Tribal Police for Benita at 509-865-2933. Case number 22-004079. Now, this young man is named Bryce Sinaway. He's 15 and he's been missing since April 26th of 2026. He was last seen in Foley Street area in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And after having Shayna, we know what can happen up in Thunder Bay, Ontario. That's where some of those boys disappear. So I have now Canada's Society for Missing Children still are listing Bryce as missing. Sometimes people will make a comment, he's been found, in comments under a thing, but until police lay eyes and he's taken off, we still put the information out. So the case number is T as in Tom, B as in boy, 26017-108. He has brown eyes, short, dark brown hair. He's 5'7", medium build, last seen wearing a black t-shirt, red Nike zip-up sweater, red Nike sweatpants, and Nike shoes. All black or black, white, and red. He may also be wearing a silver chain. He was last seen the morning of April 26th of 2026. He's been missing for over 3 weeks. Contact Thunder Bay Police Service at 807-684-1200 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. Or online tips, go to www.3tips.com. Next, we have Charlie Char Brasnetawayason, I think. And that's the best I can do, Charlie, and I apologize.
She's only that's better than most people would do.
She's 13. She's been missing since May 13th from South Hill, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Canada. I love that name. Approximately at 8:50 p.m. in the evening. She has brown eyes, long brown hair, 5'3", 130 pounds. Last seen wearing black sweatpants and a white sweater. Charlie is 13, considered at risk. Police want to locate her. Contact Moose Jaw Police at 306-694-7600 or Crime Stoppers 1-800-222-8477. This one is also older. This is Melanie Marie James. She still matters. She's 21 when she disappeared. She'd be 32 now. She's been missing since April 20th, 2024 or 2014. Excuse me. She was last seen on 20th Street and Butler Avenue in Farmington, New Mexico. She is 5 foot tall. She weighed 120 pounds with dark brown hair with blondish highlights and brown eyes. She was last seen wearing blue bandana shirt, light blue jeans, black sneakers. Identifying marks, she has a spade tattooed on the right index finger, pierced ears. On April 20th of 2014, Melanie's sister saw her walking near McKinley Elementary School with an unidentified man. When her sister returned to look for her, she was gone. Melanie's mother attempted to file a missing persons report and was initially turned away by the police. No surprise. There was an unconfirmed sighting at a Family Dollar store in September of 2015. No confirmed contact since. Her disappearance is unsolved, more than 11 years. She's not been forgotten. Contact Farmington Police at 505-599-1068, case number 32011-14. Name as number, M as in Michael, P as in Paul, 38010. Our last young lady is Marissa Anton. She's 22. She went missing on May 12th of this year. She was seen in Ignacio, Colorado at approximately 2:13 p.m. It was a stop going toward Gallup, New Mexico. She's believed traveling to Laveen, Arizona. She is from the Gila River tribe. She has black eyes, light brown hair. She's 5'6". She weighs 120 pounds, last seen wearing a black shirt and black Adidas sweatpants. She's believed to be traveling on a Greyhound bus along a route from Colorado through New Mexico toward Arizona. So anyone in that corridor, please share this. Look for her. Contact Metro Dispatch at 505-722-2002. Or with any of these, if you see them and they're not in those areas and you don't have these numbers, call 911. Let's get these people found. Someone may have seen them. It could be something small, but please go ahead and, get the information out there, because if you see something, say something. So that was our court roundup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I wanted to do something just a little bit different tonight. There are quite a few cases coming up in different areas. Those were just some of the highlights. There's a trial in Michigan with a Kelly Bryant on June 1st also. There's also we have Shannon Gardner's going to have a hearing. It's not her trial because that's going to be later in the month, but these are things that we try and kind of keep up on. She's having, I think, a plea hearing coming up, but we just like to know what's going on in the courts. We like to see that they're doing the right thing. If there's a certain case you want us to look at, I know patriotism. I'm still looking at a case for patriotism in Alabama that took place. And mods, yes, thank my lovely mods. Remember, every killer depends on your silence. Please don't give it to them. And if you see something, speak up. It wasn't a mannequin. It never is. And that's really important. Our motto here has always been, silence is betrayal. If you have a story that you want us to look at, email us at trialjunkiesunited@gmail.com. Thursday nights, we do MMIP. Sundays, we all do all different kinds of cases. If you appreciate what we do, hey, you can buy us a coffee. If the budget's tight, I know everybody's kind of in a tight situation. Watch, share, subscribe. Doc's really trying to get the shorts. He puts them in our Discord server. And when the short comes out around 6 p.m. Central Time, if you guys can check on it, click it, comment. We're just trying to get more people, more eyes. I've also started a new channel. It's called Songs After Dark. I'm slowly putting some of our music over there. Please check it out. Subscribe. We'd love to have you over there. But thank you guys for coming. Until next time, just stay informed, stay compassionate, and keep seeking truth, keep demanding justice, and never stop speaking up, because that's what it's all about. Do you want to say goodnight, Doc?
Remember, you wrote a new song for both the beginning and end. So of this stream. So give it a listen.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Doc.
Good night, Doc.
Oh, you make me laugh. So we love you all. And remember, the criminals never stop. So neither do we. Keep fighting for justice. We're going to see you on Thursday night. And ciao, everybody.
The cameras roll. Some of these trials have the world on hold. 12 in the jury box, 1 on the bench. The evidence is talking and it won't relent. Murder charges, opening statements read. Defense says innocent, the prosecution says blood was shed. We've been waiting doesn't sleep, it just shifts gears. Cameras in the courtroom or behind closed doors. Trial junkies, we're watching, that's what we're here for. Every case matters, every victim has a name. No verdict forgotten, no family left to grieve alone. What's happening in court today? Who's going to trial? Who's being arraigned? Guilty or not guilty? Let the jury decide. Judge, do your job, no time for mistakes. The victim's family is watching as their hearts still break. Murder and mayhem won't hide in the dark. Trial junkies, we are here for every part. Cameras off don't mean the case goes cold.